Hey guys, what's going on? I know there's no music, which is so weird. My fault. Totally my fault, guys. I'll add some music right now. I was going to do it on my TV because I'm trying to get better at technology, and I'm failing miserably at this point. So I beg for your forgiveness at this point. There we go. Just got a little bit of jams. I will say I love the 50 Shades soundtrack. I think it's absolutely amazing. And it has really good jams. So take away from the movie what it is from the soundtrack. But I love all the movies. Y'all know this. Welcome to another edition of To Speak My Truth. I'm very, very excited because the show is going so well and doing so great, and I've had so much support, and it's coming along, and I feel like I'm coming into my own. I love making my own rules and doing the segment on my own, and my husband is now becoming my manager, partner in all of this, and he's doing a great job. So he's been reaching out to different people. So I think Ken, sorry. I just called you my ex-boyfriend.
Yeah, that's lovely.
Yeah. But if you guys do know, I do talk to Rich every single day. So there it is. But today's guest is someone that I don't know. Again, I reached out to her just in the hopes that she would be on the show because I love her commitment and her passion and her focus and her drive, and I mean, obviously I only follow her through social media, but I really wanted to get to know her a little bit better and get to know her story, and her name is Jessica Clarke. A lot of you guys do know her from a show that I personally do not watch, but I know it's a huge ABC show, The Bachelor. Her boyfriend, or I think fiance, which I'm going to ask her about as well, Ben was on the show, The Bachelor, and so I just wanted to kind of get again that perception of what is happening, what's going on, and just find out the real truth of it all. I wanted this interview to be super organic and super natural, which is what my show is always about. And so I'm really excited to talk about her life, but she also is the co-owner of SweatNet, which is in Nashville and Denver. And so I wanted to get to know about what her business was, why she started it, and why she's such a health and fitness advocate. So I'm very, very excited to talk to her. She has a few minutes. I do know that she's in Central Time, so the timing's a little bit different. But I do have my glass of wine, guys. I got my workout in earlier today, so I'm enjoying this so much. But yeah, so I have my wine. If you guys have water or your glass or whatever, let's cheers to a great day and a great interview. Fingers crossed. I'm actually very, very nervous because I don't know her, but she seems really sweet, so I'm hoping that she doesn't think I'm such a dork. That would be really great. But I do have questions for her. So again, if you guys do have questions, just look at the bottom of your screen. There's a question mark with a square around it. All you got to do is just ask her questions. I do tell my guests that they are super open to ask questions. So feel questions. And so I'm adding Jessica right now, which I'm very, very excited about. So let's get started, guys. Hey!
Hey! Oh my gosh, this is so cute.
Thank you. My audience is so good. All I have to do is just press play, and they're fabulous.
I love it.
A little bit. Every single time that I do this, it just messes me up. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate this.
Oh my gosh, are you kidding? I was so excited when you asked me. I freaked out.
It was so crazy because you got so excited, and I was like, I think she doesn't know that I'm a really big dork, but I'm really excited that she's
Same.
excited.
I am too, so this is going to be great. Are you kidding?
I'm so excited. How are you doing?
I'm doing really well, actually.
Well, your skin looks blessed, girl. You look fabulous.
Thank
The hair
you.
looks healthy. You look great.
I washed my hair, which is, like a once a week situation.
Yes.
Washed my hair. Me and my whole household did like masks last night, so all of us are glowing. So
yes, girl.
we are good.
Oh, good. good. I'm so glad. I mean, I've been seeing a lot of your posts, and obviously for me, everybody kind of knows that I'm super happy. I've been doing so much work around my house and like getting my workouts in and doing things. But for you, I see your posts and everything is just really in a positive light. And I love that. I truly am so excited. And that's also why I start the show, is so that I can get a glimpse into people and how they're doing. But it seems like you're just enjoying this time, and I am so happy for you. What state are you in?
Thank you. I'm in Tennessee right now, Nashville, which is where I grew up here, and my whole family's here. So I'm actually in a house with my older brother, my sister-in-law, my younger brother, my parents, and my fiance.
Wow, you have a packed house, don't you?
I do, which makes it really fun. It kind of feels like it's like a Christmas holiday, because that's the only other time we're all together.
Exactly. And I think that's a really big thing when you have so many people. Like, I travel a lot, and so I see my husband like in passing, or like we have to schedule a date night, and as he passes by. But like, do you feel like, you said like it's Christmas, is this a good time for you? Like, are you happy being there with everyone and getting to like connect with them?
So I actually travel a lot also. I got engaged in quarantine, which kind of makes it happy anyways.
That was my next question. But
thank you.
Can I be super cheesy? Can I see the ring?
Oh, I haven't shown anyone, so of course.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's a rock. It's a
Yeah, he did a good job.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's so exciting. Yay.
It's been really exciting. So, but my fiance lives in Denver and I live in Nashville.
Okay.
So we haven't ever spent like 2 months together in our whole relationship. We've always done long distance. And I've been traveling with him for the past year and a half. So I haven't even seen my family this much.
Wow.
So these 2 months have actually been, my little brother called it a halftime, because he's a professional baseball player.
Oh, wow.
So he got sent home too. And he's like, this is like a halftime in our lives, really, where we can just like regroup, hang out together, see each other in our like mid to late 20s in this light that I've never known my family members. So it's been pretty, I mean, no one's sick. My family's blessed to all have their jobs.
Oh,
so
good. That's
the grand scheme of things, we are blessed.
Oh, that's honestly such great news to hear. And there's so many things that you just said that I was like, oh my goodness. So your brother's a professional baseball player. That's amazing. Yes. I'm a track and field athlete, so my heart goes out to him for not being able to, play this season, but I know that he'll get back to it, and I'll be watching him. Now he has a new fan.
I love it.
We're a baseball family. And I am so excited that you're engaged and that your family's doing well and they're safe. These are all really great things. And I'm so excited to have you and get to talk to you a little bit about this distance relationship, your SweatNet, you're a co-founder of, and your life in the public eye. And for me as a professional athlete, we're in the public eye, but to a different level for you. And I don't know if everything changed when you started dating. Ben is his name, correct?
Yes.
Please forgive me. And you guys know I speak my truth. I don't watch The Bachelor.
I don't either. So you're so fine.
I felt so bad when I reached out to you. My friend was like, do you know who Jessica Clarke is? I was like, yeah, she owns SweatNet. And I was like,
oh, I love it.
And she was like, are you dumb? And I was like, what? She was like, and she told me, and I was like, oh, she's never going to say yes now. And then when you did, I was like, oh my God, like, this is so cool. So I do want to get to it all. And obviously, like, if we don't touch on everything, the questions that I sent you were so like general. And I was like, I feel like we'll get to like 2 questions because I'm going to be like in-depth learning.
Well, you also have to know, I ran track and field in college. So knowing like an Olympic athlete, I mean, this is like my like rock star. So I have so much respect for all that y'all do and your just everything. And my heart goes out to y'all this year. I know it's really, really hard.
Honestly, I mean, we have to take, like, as you know, in athletics, there's going to be bumps in the road. There's going to be little detours. you have to roll with the punches. You've got to be able to adapt. And it was a big blow at first, but we all kind of knew it was going to happen. So it only gives us another extra year to get stronger and to work on our flaws in a sense, like so that we can
I love
get
that.
better. So we're like, a lot of the people that I did reach out to, a lot of the women wanted to have children and stuff like that. So our lives are a little bit different, but we adjusted. We'll be okay. I just, I'm healthy, I'm safe. I'm blessed in that retrospect. So I can't really be like, oh no, the Olympics. I'm like, there are worse things in the world that could be happening to me and my family. So I am very blessed in that aspect. But thank you so much. It's so nice to hear people understanding the commitment and dedication, especially for track and field.
Of course.
Track and field is like nobody else's business.
Oh my gosh.
So I do want to jump into your business, because that's obviously why I reached out to you. And you are the co-founder of SweatNet Denver.
So yes.
Okay.
So SweatNet it's a licensed company. So it actually started in Charlotte, North Carolina. And then I have 2 business partners, and the 3 of us decided to start it in Nashville and Denver.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so basically, since we're a license, we can kind of make it our own in each city. But the general idea, I wish I came up with the idea, because it's genius. And I obviously am so passionate about it. But we've just kind of figured out what works for us in our cities. And then, it's going to be different in Nashville than it is in Denver, and that kind of thing.
Yeah. So you started it in Nashville, I'm assuming. You started in Nashville. So in a sense, the business is what? So, because again, I've researched all of it. But for my audience, what is SweatNet?
So it's a subscription-based wellness platform, and our members pay $9.95 a month, and then they get access to all of the discounts in their city, plus 4 to 6 free workouts a month.
That is genius. You're absolutely right.
It's like an online coupon book, but it's like for taking care of yourself, basically.
Yes, for that health and wellness. And you just said that you did run track in college. What besides that, like when you obviously graduated, what made you get into this business?
So after I graduated, I was in sales. And then whenever Ben and I started dating, I quit my job about 6 months in, my full-time job, because I had saved up a ton of money, and I was like, this is a once-lifetime opportunity to travel with, the man I knew I was going to marry at the time. So went ahead and quit my job, and then one of the girls I ran at Ole Miss. And one of the girls that played soccer at Ole Miss reached out to me and was like, do you want to do this with me? And I was like, okay, like, let's see what happens.
So you took a leap of faith, and you were just like, yes.
Took a leap of faith, did it. And then the headquarters reached out, and they were like, we know you're going to be moving to Denver. People are asking about it. Would you want to do Denver too? And I was like, this is awesome. So.
Oh, wow. And so for Denver, did you do it by yourself, or you asked for another partner?
So me and my partner, we do both. We're just a team for both cities. Okay. Because we have kind of like this specific voice that we want to hold on to with our SweatNet. We both actually had eating disorders when we were in college and have really connected over that. And so our cities, we try and really focus on like mental health, nutrition, like spas and saunas, plus workouts and that kind of thing, but making sure it's like an all-encompassing wellness.
Got you. Wow, that's amazing. And I don't mean to detour, but I have spoken to so many athletes, female athletes, and they have all said that they had some sort of eating disorder in college. And for me, I had no idea that it was as big as it was, because when my coach told me, I was going into college 128 pounds, 130 pounds, 5'10". I was like, I've always been called skinny and bones and all this kind of stuff. So when I got to college and I hit the weight room and I started gaining muscle, and my coach was like, you need to watch your weight. In my head, I was just like, in one ear, not the other. I was like, I can't change it. Like, I'm doing what I need to. If you're going to cook meals for me, great, boo-boo, bless, I'll do it. But if you're not, then please don't, you're not giving me a solution. You're just causing more problems.
Yes.
but for a lot of females, it was more detrimental. And my Olympic coach now, she went to Notre Dame, and she was in the bod pod like once a week. They weighed her every day. There's also she was a high schooler turned pro, and she went out to Oregon, Mary Kane, and she came out with this whole article how she was like mentally and verbally abused with her weight and the coach. And I mean, she was at the top. Like, she was Olympic trials, like ready to go, went to Oregon and just completely crashed, and they shut down the program in Oregon. And so for me, I think it's so incredible that you were able to turn this situation into a positive and a way to give back. And I thank you for that, and I appreciate your honesty and your truth. Do you feel like what you're doing is, in a sense, like an outlet for those going through things like this?
That's like my dream for it. I truly believe that we're given really hard experiences in order to talk about them. You know, if I had this eating disorder and then never said anything, like, what's the point of it?
Yes.
So I believe that I had that, and then was given a platform, and then given SweatNet and this opportunity in this industry in order to normalize this conversation, so that other women, like you said, almost every female athlete I've ever spoken to has had the same experience. And there's not a lot of people that you can talk to about it. Like, you think it was just you. And like, for me, I'm like, I got in my own way of not being a great runner because I had all these other expectations or struggles in my brain.
Yeah.
So, and then afterwards, you know, there's the identity of not being an athlete anymore. And there's all these identity crises that come with losing that piece of you. So
but it's such a big part. It's a full-time job being a collegiate athlete. It truly is, on top of being a student. So you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you're exactly. So I think that having more places where women can come and just like relate with other women, or just have an outlet to learn how to take care of your body in a healthy way without it being obsessive, without it being your whole life, realizing, you know, maybe instead of doing a high intensity workout 6 days a week, you should do yoga 3 times a week, and your body likes that better. You know, just, I think learning about and listening to your body has been the coolest part of SweatNet. Because I've learned a lot from other people, and then being able to see other women feel the same way, or even just feel like they have someone to talk to, is like the coolest thing.
That's amazing. And I really love that truth of it. And I'm glad, I mean, I you know, I Googled it, and I looked into it, researched it, but I'm so glad that you explained it the way you did, because it's such a positive. And I hope that more people can have that same culture, or you can just take over the world and just have SweatNet everywhere. That would just be better.
Oh man, that sounds like a big job.
Big undertaking. Absolutely. I can only imagine. But you can build a team, and you can train them, and then they can just do your work all around the world.
There we go. I just need people to come to me.
Yeah. But I'm very, very shocked that you dealt with this, and that you were able to transition so positively. What was your relationship with food once you graduated college, and while you were dealing with transitioning?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. I've never been asked it. I'm really glad you asked me that, because that's like something really important. Because food went from being my fuel for a workout to being almost like an enemy of like, I can't have you because I'm not running 60 miles a week anymore, or however many miles a week. So I need to have way less. So even like after college, I went like a total opposite direction. Like in college, it was like binge purge. Out of college, it was restrictive. As I was trying to like navigate, like, what is my body when it's not being worked so hard? And how do I take care of it when I'm resting, you know, 4 days a week instead of never resting at all? So finding that balance took a lot of patience, a lot of professional help, and a lot of like just community around me reminding me that like I'm loved for my inside, and not because I'm an athlete, or, you know, I had a 6-pack or whatever. Like, I'm loved because I'm Jessica and not because I'm Jessica the runner.
Wow, that's amazing. And I really, I admire your truth and your journey with it, because I think it's the transition. And I talk to a lot of people about this, and I do a lot of speaking engagements about the transition, because I was going to retire this summer, and I read an entire book about, my next guest in a couple hours is Phil Costa, and he wrote a book about transitioning, because he was an NFL player for the Cowboys. And then he was just like, okay, now what? Like, and especially at that high level, you realize you're just like, okay, who's going to open a door for me? But in a sense, he opened a door for himself. So he wrote this book, and he interviewed 100 athletes and 25 Olympians about resources, books they used, little tips of the trade. And so when I'm reading this, I'm like, wow, this is such a huge transition. I'm ready for it, because I mean, I've been doing this for forever, but it's still going to be scary, because like I've always identified as an athlete. That's always what I've always been. So I think it's wonderful that you are speaking about your transition in a positive light, and that you're being open about, yes, I did receive help. Yes, it did take some time. It wasn't an overnight thing. And I always tell people this when they're talking about diets or learning something new. I'm like, whatever age you are, it's usually like 25 and up. I'm like, you were doing this one way for 25, 30 years. Give your body some time to allow for adjustments. You have to be kind to yourself. You really do. And I love that. And I appreciate your honesty. Now I guess I have to get to the fun stuff. And I hate asking questions, but I feel like you've been asked a lot, and I do want this to be a conversation. But you did just get engaged, and it's so much of a great time. I eloped because I just couldn't deal with all of this happening and training for the Olympics. I was like, I can't do it. And we had a great time. So what has it been like for you in the public eye, engaged? Because again, I feel like you're a down to earth, you're really sweet, you're outgoing, like you're lovely. You're a lovely human being.
Thank you.
But when you include the media and you include TV and the social media, all kinds of stuff, you get all kinds of perceptions and misconceptions. What has your engagement been like since with like media?
It's really interesting because I didn't go on the show. I worked a full-time job, and Ben found me on social media just totally randomly. So I never expected for my life to look like this. And so everything has been like a constant adjustment for me. And luckily he's been in the public eye for 5 years. And so he's like kind of been guiding me. And there are some things that like I'll read about myself and I'm like, what in the heck? Or like one of my family members will send me something and be like, I didn't know this about you. And I'm like, I didn't know that about me either. Or I didn't know that someone else did. Yeah. And so I think it's just one of those things where luckily, like, I have my circle that hasn't really changed since I started dating Ben. And so they know like my past and my present, and they're super close to me. And then Ben kind of reminds me like some things just aren't a big deal. Like it might feel like a huge deal to you right now, but it's just not. And then with the engagement, like that was just fun because it was like I'm already celebrating, and then now all these other people are celebrating with me. Like how cool is that?
Oh, that's amazing. I'm so glad.
Super fun.
This is such an eye-opening interview because I'm just like, good. Like, I'm glad that you have this partner that's just like, these are the things that matter. These are the things that don't. And like, I love that because again, I've interviewed a few celebrities and I'm like, is that a misconception? And they're like, oh yeah, absolutely. So I'm like, damn, does anybody said anything real out there? Like, is anybody saying the truth? So I'm really, really excited for you. I can't wait to like follow the journey and talk about it more. And hopefully post-wedding, we can have another in-person interview because I do want to travel with this and we can talk all about how fabulous your wedding was.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm excited for you. I really want to meet you, and that sounds awesome. That's so great.
It's one of the things that is on our to-do list. We want to go to Nashville. he got me into country music, and I am now almost a bigger fan than he is. And I've been interviewing different country artists, and I have Jimmy Allen this Friday. I had Tyler Rich last 2 Fridays ago.
Oh my gosh.
It was literally, I've just fallen in love with the culture of country music. And it's interesting because I interviewed a talent agent for country artists, and he was just like, it's very interesting that you're an African American and you love country. I'm like, that's my niche. If that's what I gotta use, boo, I'll be at the CMA. Like, hey,
I love it.
So it is one of the things that I do want to go. I've been to Denver.
Okay.
I love Denver. I love Denver, and I love Coors Light. Coors Light is my favorite thing, so I loved it.
Did y'all tour?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
And
I need to do that.
I bought like almost everything. I bought a hat. I bought a cup. I bought a t-shirt.
I love it.
Overboard for no reason. But when I come to Nashville, I will message you and I'll be like, hey, we're here. And I wanted to have my bachelorette party there. And it was just, we eloped so quickly that I was just like, okay, like it is what it is. So
do a post-wedding bachelorette. I'm telling everyone that's like having to miss stuff, just make it up. There are no rules. Just do it later.
True. And it just can be like a fun trip. Yeah. For everybody. Okay, girl. All right, that was your advice, so I'm taking it. So
do it.
I'm like, Jessica told me. And I do wanna, I mean, obviously, I feel like you've obviously adjusted, and transitions are a big common theme in this conversation. What has it been like for you being with Ben after the breakup with him? And again, I have not a clue who it was, but I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay.
And he's gonna be like, she didn't do her homework. I'm gonna be like, sorry, boo. I am not a professional television reality star guru over here.
No, that's totally fine.
I'm so sorry. Please. I'm so sorry. What has your relationship been like? Because coming from somebody from television, and then you coming off of like a full-time job, and then you guys transitioning your lives together, what has that been like?
It's been really, really fun. I think starting to date someone long distance, he and I had some really, really hard conversations before we ever met each other in person.
Oh, wow.
Since he messaged me on Instagram.
Y'all brought the seriousness real quick.
We did, and we had to, and it actually worked really, really well for me in a relationship because I'm not a great communicator, so I was like pushed immediately to communicate with him. Wow. So, 2 weeks into even knowing him, he's like bringing up, the show and the fact that he was engaged and where he's at now and all of those things. And then, a couple months into it, I'm starting to see it in person, and now we're a year and a half into being together, and it's like, I just feel like if he hadn't done all those things, if he hadn't been engaged before, if he hadn't had these experiences, then he wouldn't be the right person for me, because he would have been someone totally different. Like those experiences shaped him.
Absolutely.
Just like mine have shaped me, and we'll continue to grow together now that we are like the people that we are. He also is 6 years older than me, and so it's actually really nice to have someone that has like this life experience and this wisdom, that he sees life through like a different lens than I do sometimes. And he is so much more aware of like other people's feelings in our decisions and in all these things, because he's made mistakes and that kind of thing. So it's actually been really, really wonderful. And he just wouldn't be the same if he hadn't done those things. And I don't think our lives would look the same either. I don't even know if he ever would have found me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think the most surprising thing when people ask me is like, what's the biggest, thing that you've learned on this journey? And I'm like, that I grow through failure and never through success. And so it's those moments where you hit rock bottom and you just don't know where to turn, and you just have to pick yourself up and say, you know what, I'm going to grow through this, and I'm going to learn from this. And it may have rerouted my journey, but it didn't change the destination. And so for me, I love hearing that you're in an open, good, loving relationship, because I think the world needs more of that, to be very honest. I think when it comes to relationships, when we got engaged, I would ask people who were married 30 plus years, what are some tips? Like, what's one thing you would say to us as we get married? And so it's these little things of just like communication, and we over communicate. So,
Good.
and like we come from different cultural backgrounds. So he's white, I'm black. That's a huge thing. And I represent Antigua and Barbuda. He has never even known about the Caribbean, like at all. So like I'm introducing him to this. I'm half Dominican, introducing him to that. So, and it's something that we're doing privately. So I don't, I mean, as I try and build my resume and I try to get out there, I always want to ask others who are in the spotlight how to keep grounded. You know what I mean? Because you can get pulled in so many different directions. And I feel like, obviously, I think this time being together for 8 weeks has really helped a lot. I don't know if it has for you, but it's been amazing for me.
Do you remember how much you like him?
I know.
That's like where I'm at. I'm like, you're like seriously my best friend. This is so crazy.
Oh my God, my best friend. Literally, we're super geeky together. We're super dorks. We love sitting on the couch and watching Netflix. I love seeing like how his routine of the day goes. I just love knowing my husband. And and I think we've only been married 9 months, so we're very new to the game, but it's amazing to know that there are other younger couples because we're 31 as well.
Okay.
So we're in the same boat of just like, we took our time, and when we knew, we knew. And I love that you guys are that same kind of like on that same page in a sense. Like when you know, you know. I don't know how you would have, did he like slide into your DMs?
Yeah, slid on in there.
Can you stop it? Like,
You always gotta applaud these successful DM shots.
Oh my
I love it. No, you're so right.
And that's the thing, like, I feel like I would never respond to somebody if somebody slid in my DMs. I'd be like,
literally, so you'll actually appreciate this. I would never really respond, except he had a blue check mark. And so
he's not crazy. Okay.
I saw it and I was like, how in the world did someone with a blue check mark find me on Instagram? And then I like showed it to my mom, and my mom was like, he was the Bachelor. And I was like, oh.
I was just watching that.
Yeah, so I was like, well, I guess I'll reply.
I guess so. I guess he shot his shot. So, you know what? I got to be at least kind and courteous.
It was honestly more of just like, how did he find me? Like, that was what I was curious about.
Did you ever ask him, like, how?
Oh, yes. So he was staying at a hotel in downtown Nashville, and he was researching who was playing in a hockey game at the arena next door. Okay. And I was at the hockey game. So he like had searched Bridgestone Arena, and my photo popped up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yep. So I get asked dating advice all the time, and I just tell girls to tag their locations. That's the key.
You don't want to miss out on an opportunity because the boy didn't know where you were. I got you. I love that.
Exactly.
I think that's absolutely amazing. My husband keeps saying that I slid into his DMs, and I didn't. I literally, we went to high school together. He was super popular. I was a dork. And we started coaching together. And I wanted to grab a drink because I knew that he was like the bar. He was single. I was like, great. I just need a wingman for this night. It'd be great. And I was like, hey, I'll just look him up and whatever. And he swears to this day that that's our love story. I was like, nobody was in your DMs like that. Like,
that's so good.
Like, calm down. But it worked out for you. And I guess
it worked out for you too.
I guess so. So you know what, ladies? Let a brother slide into your DMs.
Just go with the DM.
Jessica, thank you so much. I am so excited that we got to chat and we got to finally meet virtually.
Yes, me too.
You already know I will be in Nashville very, very soon.
Let me know.
As it's lifted, I truly believe it's going to be the number one because he's a teacher. So we have the summer off.
Yes.
So if they lift it up and we're allowed to like fly and we can go, it will be the number one place that we go because it's something I really, really want to do. I want to experience that culture. I know it's a huge destination spot. So we'll definitely be there. And if you have one more moment for my husband's corner, this is my husband, Ken. Why are you wearing that shirt?
We'll go down in the DMs.
Oh, that's so good. That should be our first dance song.
Shouldn't it? They should have played that at our wedding instead. Next time, when we renew the vows, that's what we'll do.
Yes, I love it.
I'm mortified right now. I am mortified,
so
one, that he is wearing this shirt because he knows that I hate this shirt. And two, that he just danced for everyone and showed his non-rhythm.
Exactly.
I love it. You're better than me, so.
Does Ben have rhythm?
He tries really hard.
That's what counts. It's the effort.
Yeah,
exactly.
it is the effort.
Okay,
it's
then that means
effort.
when I meet him, I'll try and teach him the 2-step so he has a little bit of a jig,
Yes,
like a little bit of a some.
We both need it, so that would be great.
All right, Ken. Ken is my husband. He's a teacher. He's a football coach.
Hey.
He definitely does not watch The Bachelor or is not up to date with anything.
A coworker of mine does a Bachelor bracket at the beginning of each season. So I guess they line up for the guys before the show even starts, and they just start to dwindle it down.
Oh man!
And I think they do like $5, and like the winner takes the pot.
I feel very
That's
bad.
intense.
I feel like it's
That's
a really
good thing to do.
It's such a popular show. It really is, and
it's crazy.
I can only imagine you being like, you were on what show? Like what?
I've learned a lot about it, and it is Bachelor Nation is like a real thing.
It's real. It is super real. I can imagine. But Ken, what is your question? So we don't take any up.
My question: which fictional character from a TV show or movie would you want to be best friends with?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I love Harry Potter.
Ooh.
And Ron Weasley has always been like, we would be best friends. And I just think he'd be like the sweetest friend.
I think he would be too. I always felt bad for Ron. I was always like, come on, Ron, you can do it.
I know.
His little red hair and the whole family. So, quick little note, he's never seen or read Harry Potter.
No.
That's y'all's quarantine homework.
Okay, Jessica told you. So maybe because I'm a big like Marvel, Star Wars, complete dork.
Star Wars love.
Yes, right? Like it's so amazing. And I made him watch that during quarantine. So I caught him up on all the Marvel movies.
Love it.
And he is now caught up on all the Star Wars. So we're gonna watch Indiana Jones, and I think I'm gonna go to Harry Potter right after.
Okay, yeah, you definitely have to do Indiana Jones first, though. That's like a classic.
See, that's what I said. That's what I told you.
So.
Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate your question.
Yeah, that was a good question.
I had to approve all of them, girl, please. They were.
I love that one.
I got rid of like 80% of them.
Yes. One thing you'll learn in marriage is that sometimes you got to reel them in because men are men everywhere. So sometimes bring them back. Bring them back a little bit.
That's a good question, but let's pivot it. Yeah.
Let's save it. Let's put a pin in it. We'll save that for another show. Maybe Vice or something. Yeah.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Truly appreciate it. Thank you for joining me and speaking your truth. I definitely learned so much about you, and I wish that we had a little bit more time, but I promise you later on I'll definitely invite you back because I definitely want to talk a little bit more just about your college experience so that, again, I mean, I know you're really famous for, your fiance and your company, but I'd really like to just get to know you as, you and speaking your truth.
I would love that. I would love that whenever you let me know.
Thank you so much. Tell the family I said hello. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. Stay safe.
Okay, sounds good. Bye.
What a lovely young woman. She was so delightful. I definitely will have her back. I love when I get to interview guests that have this really big misconception about them, because I really just want to get to know them and see what is fake and what is real. And as you guys know, I'm an amateur journalist, and this show, To Speak My Truth, is just something that I wanted to do to really get to know people and study my craft and work on it. And so I thank you so much for your support and for watching. In a little bit, we're going to have Phil Costa, who is a former NFL player, and he's going to talk all about his transition period from the NFL to Muggle life, which we just spoke about, Harry Potter, non-athletic life, and what he's been up to. And he also has been in the spotlight for some things, so I'll get to talk to him about that as well. So cheers, and I will talk to you guys in a little bit.